From downtown Scranton, this is Northeast Current with John Baldino. WQPX invites you to join John and his guests as they explore public affairs, current events, and arts and culture in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Now, let's meet today's guests on Northeast Current.
Welcome to Northeast Current. My name is Patrick Martin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Katie Leyland, this week, and we're filling in for John Baldino, who's on assignment. And we are joined by John and Danielle from down in 44th, a theater company down there, putting on a production of the show Vincent by Leonard Nimoy. How you guys doing today?
Oh, yeah, we're doing good.
Pretty good, yeah.
All right, well, we'll start off. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the show Vincent, what it's about?
Okay. The show Vincent is about the life of Vincent van Gogh. It's told from the point of view of his brother Theo after Vincent died. So it is essentially Theo gets up and tells you Vincent's life story. We have an entire slide presentation that goes with the play that shows a lot of Van Gogh's works from the different periods of his life that come up in the script.
I do understand you're offering a show, but also if people want to come early, they get a dinner.
Yes, tell us about the food.
That's Danielle's part.
It's a dinner theater that we're offering, and the dinner will be kind of involved with the theater. I don't know if it'll be post or prior to, probably in the midst of it all. But we're offering a nice lineup. We have a sunflower squash soup to start, and we're going to have some cheese and fruit tasting boards, a slider at the end, a nice dessert. And we're trying to keep it really true to like Van Gogh's palette of color and, you know, the essence of that to try to, you know, complement each other, if you will.
Yeah, I saw the menu and my first thought was, well, do I get food?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe, if you're lucky.
If I do a good show.
So who are you playing then?
It's a one-man show.
Is it?
So yeah, it's just me.
No pressure?
Nah. So for most of the show I play Vincent's brother Theo. There are a couple times where I read some of the letters that Vincent wrote to his brother, and a couple times I become Vincent for sequences, but for most of it I play the brother Theo.
Sounds like a lot of memorizing.
Just a little. I mean, we've decided to put, anytime I read a letter or a newspaper article, to just put it on stage so that I'm actually reading it, because you can tell if someone's reading something or if they've memorized it. And it does just cut down on what I need to know. You know, a lot of it is, okay, I do this speech and my next speech is there on the table and I get to pick it up. So it does cut down on the memorizing. It's, this is the second time I've done the show, and we did it that way the first time, some 10 years ago, and it worked so well. It's just
10 years ago.
I hate to think about it, but yeah. Last time was July 2001 when I did this at the Everhart.
Oh, the Everhart. That sounds like it would have been nice.
It was nice. It's neat to revisit the show again, not just so many years later, but it's a different venue, it's a different director, so the interpretation isn't the same. And, I'm enjoying doing it again. Yeah.
How much did you have to rememorize?
All of it. Absolutely all of it. It's like, I thought I'd know more than this. I'll know it for April. Oh wait, the show's closed then.
Well, surprise to people, to me, is that this is actually written by Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah.
The story, yeah.
Played Spock.
Of course, that's how it got my attention. I was literally looking through a catalog of plays, and I went, "Oh, what?" It turns out he wrote this play for speaking tours and to speak at colleges because he was sick of talking about Star Trek and Spock, so he wanted to be able to do something else, and he put this play together.
Always something with ears in that guy. Huh?
I was thinking that. I just couldn't figure out what I was thinking about it, but I was thinking about that.
He took off
the
gear.
But you're not necessarily Van Gogh, so you don't have to like pretend.
No, it gets talked about, but I don't have to do it. No.
Oh, that's good. You don't have to, doesn't have to actually chop his ear off or.
But part of the slideshow is a self-portrait with the bandage. Apparently, right after he did it, he did paint a self-portrait of him, with the ear bandage.
What's the story on that? I'm not quite clear. But of course, that's what everybody thinks of.
Yeah, the play talks about it. It's kind of twofold. There was another artist living in the same town with him, and they'd had an argument that night. And by the end of it, Vincent could not bring himself to hurt Paul Gauguin. He hurt himself instead. And apparently he got the idea to cut off his ear from a prostitute at the local brothel who used to tease her customers that way and say, pay me or cut off your ear. So he cut off his ear and gave it to her.
Gave it to her.
Yeah, that's the story according to the book.
Okay, so the moral is the next time you're mad at me, cut off your own ear.
That's suggested by a prostitute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sound counsel.
And how true to life is this? Should people go in expecting actual history with this? Does it appeal to the historians?
I think it would appeal to the historians, and I think it would appeal to art historians because it is not a lecture. Right. What we're not doing is showing a slide of a painting and saying, see how he used his brushwork to convey X. It's much more about, at this point in his life, this is what was going on, this is what he was feeling, and here's what he painted at the time. It really makes the paintings spring to life, and I think it makes Van Gogh, the man, come to life. It's much more about the man than just the painter.
Obviously,
Yeah.
it involves brothels and prostitutes. It's racy.
John, is it from the perspective of his brother?
Yes, the whole thing's from the perspective of his brother.
Right.
Vincent's letters to Theo were practically a diary because he wrote so many.
Yeah.
So that's why the letters are so heavily incorporated in the play, because he wrote so much.
I'm completely ignorant. Did Theo live in the same area? Why were there so many letters?
Well, they lived in the same country. They both lived in France. Part of the reason I would suspect why there were so many letters is because for most of Vincent's life, he didn't make any money. Most of his paintings were not sold during his lifetime, and Theo supported him. Theo was constantly sending Vincent money, for food, money for his art supplies.